Hey guys, what's up? It's a Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to do my second review of the day, and that would be the latest Tyler, the Creator album, Call Me If You Get Lost. My god, it's so hot. Why is it so hot? It's not even July yet. Oh my goodness. So, Tyler, the Creator is the one and only, the very popular, the very famous West Coast rapper, and this is his latest album. I have reviewed Flower Boy in the year 2017, and before Flower Boy, Tyler, the Creator's music has always been very controversial, oddball, and strange, and has spawned a lot of controversy, but it is 2017's Flower Boy that really changed Tyler, the Creator's artistic trajectory when Tyler, the Creator started to dabble into dreamy, soft, beautiful R&B tracks like 911 / Mr. Lonely and Boredom, which is one of my favorite songs of the 2010s, really put Tyler, the Creator's artistic status in a whole new level and has gained so much artistic prestige in the music industry. And ever since that album, everyone, including me, have been really looking forward to the next Tyler, the Creator album, which is 2019's Igor. Oh my god, Igor is even better than Flower Boy. It is a fantastic concept album about love and broken love and the loss of love, wanting to love, jealousy of love, and things surrounding those topics. And essentially it is a kind of a lo-fi, rough R&B, neo-soul, freaky rap mixture that is incredibly beautifully produced. It has a lot of personality and has some really solid production and songwriting. And now we have a new Tyler, the Creator album released in 2021, Call Me If You Get Lost. And in this album, Tyler, the Creator is kind of returning to his hip-hop roots with less of the neo-soul, less of the R&B, even though there still are elements of neo-soul and R&B, but more focused on the hip-hop side of things on this album. And it's definitely still very artsy. Just because Tyler, the Creator is making more music that's focused on hip-hop, it doesn't mean that his music is being dumbed down or anything. He still does it with a level of artistic production, with freaky lyricism, and a lot of personality and style. And it's almost like this album is if Wes Anderson is trying to make a rap album, because there's a certain cartoonishness to Tyler, the Creator's music lately and his artistic style lately that really shapes his style and artistry. Also, this album is heavily produced by DJ Drama, and we have his producer tags sort of sprinkled all over this album. And yes, it does get a little bit annoying, but I guess it just goes to show that this album is seriously trying to go back to the grimier, dirtier, nastier hip-hop roots. And also the album cover, which is basically a parody, or more like an homage to the very classic and famous Dirty Old Bastard album cover. But anyways, the album starts off with Sir Baudelaire, which I think is almost kind of like the character that Tyler, the Creator tries to be on the album. Even though this album isn't like a concept album or anything, but Sir Baudelaire is sort of his persona for this album. And it basically starts off with very beautiful horns, plucky keyboards, and it does sound really dreamy and luxurious. The keyboards sort of drown into the mix, which is really nice, and overall it is a pretty decent opener. And then we have Corso, where we have jazzy pianos, grimy drums, and these very brief snippets of choral vocals that sort of sprinkled around really nicely. And then we have braggadocious performances from Tyler, the Creator, a very strong song, definitely. And then we have Lemonhead featuring 42 Doug, which is basically Tyler, the Creator's rendition of your average trap rap banger, with blaring nasty horns and with Tyler, the Creator's I'm not gonna say iconic, but it's gonna be iconic soon, where he basically goes ah, 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 like a monkey, and and it's sort of everywhere on this track where he's just like ah, 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 and it's a really fun song with a very fun performance, awesome flow, and then afterwards we have what's your name, what's your name, featuring Ty Dolla $ign and NBA YoungBoy. And I don't know what's with Tyler the Creator, but whenever he features artists, the featured artist usually has a really strong performance, like in Flower Boy when he featured Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith was actually not bad on that album. And similarly, we have NBA YoungBoy, who, dare I say, isn't really that good of an artist, but his performance on this track is actually really passionate, and I also really love the instrumental. It's essentially a feel-good R&B rap tune with a skippity bass. And then afterwards we have Lumberjack, which is a total freaking banger. The instrumental is this clipping, stagnant beat, which is so fiery without being really intense. You know, there's a certain subtlety to it, yet it's just so freaking groovy, and then the beat is so steady, and we get these group chants and group yells. Also, recently we have the BET Awards, where Tyler the Creator essentially performed this song with the windstorm in the back, which is absolutely insane. Stellar performance. And can we just take a second here? Can we just take a second and appreciate how amazing is Tyler the Creator's performance in the Grammys last year when he performed New Magic Wand? That was such a great performance. That is one of the most, and I'm not exaggerating here, that is one of the most amazing Grammys performances I've ever seen. I mean, just him singing with Boys to Men, and Boys to Men were like, don't leave, and then Tyler just leaves, and then he performs New Magic Wand, and he's like doing these monkey sounds and screaming and screeching, and then all these Tyler clones just march towards him, and then all the houses behind him set on fire. It's absolutely insane, and it's just one of the most memorable performances. And also him like puffing, doing the puff in his mouth mid-performance, that is sick. But anyways, back to the album, we have Hot Wind Blows featuring Lil Wayne, and honestly, Lil Wayne's performance here is actually pretty great. The performances are really passionate again, and also really tight. We have nice lyrics. The instrumentals are really rich, almost like a Mad Lib beat with really nice flutes and pianos. The track Massa has more low-key pianos, and even though this track instrumentally does sound like one of the more forgettable tracks on the album, essentially this track is about Tyler the Creator's artistic change throughout the years, and I feel like this instrumental and this beat fits that lyrical topic way better, and it does build up to a bit of an explosive ending. And then we have the track Runitup, which sounds like a blissful track off of one of the older albums from Tyler the Creator's discography, and the build-up is quite long, even though the instrumental switch is pretty nice. Manifesto is another freaking highlight on the album for me, one of my favorite songs off of the album. It starts off with a bit of spoken word where essentially a person, I think it's Damo Genesis, where he complains that, you know, just people on the internet just asking celebrities to be role models and sort of speak up on socio-political issues. And on this track, Tyler the Creator basically says how, while yes, it's important to speak up and speak out on these socio-political issues, but overly relying on these celebrities as role models is just a little bit too much. And essentially we have a moody intro and then eerie instrumentals, which is really nice because Eric friggin' Andre actually sampled this on his sample-based album Cease and Desist on the first track, and that's pretty cool. And then we have this nearly 10 minutes long centerpiece to the album, Sweet / I Thought You Wanted to Dance. And the first half of the track is Sweet, which is essentially an R&B track, and yes, the vocal performance is really nice, but I was a little let down by it, actually. Maybe it's because I just feel like it just seems like it's just within Tyler, the Creator's wheelhouse. Like, it just doesn't seem all that special or groundbreaking for Tyler, the Creator, to make music like this at this point. So it wasn't really all that crazy, but the second half is certainly a surprise. It's essentially this really reggae flavored track with organs and a stiff beat, and I didn't see that coming, and it was actually a really fun and sort of a playful change of pace for Tyler, the Creator, which is really nice. Wow, my voice is getting more and more coarse as I speak. Anyways, we have Mama Talk, and it is basically an interlude where Tyler has a conversation with his mom, and it is a really sweet, endearing, and funny skit. Rise! Exclamation mark is another banger, I must say. The flow is really tight, it's got some sweet choral vocals, it has hard-hitting jazzy drums. Blessed is another spoken word piece, a little bit under a minute long, and it's not really all that memorable. It transitions to Juggernaut, featuring Lil Uzi Vert and Pharrell Williams, and both of them give stellar performances on this track once again. Juggernaut is once again a total friggin' banger with a bubbly instrumental, which usually it's Pharrell Williams' thing, so I believe that Pharrell Williams is also partially the producer for this track, because it doesn't sound like a Tyler track, it sounds more like a Pharrell track, like as far as the beat goes. But still, the performances are amazing, the flow is totally friggin' banger, and it has a lot of style. And then we have the track Wilshire, which is 8.5 minutes long, and it's musically, it's almost like the Think About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst version of this album, because it's really long and the instrumental is very low key, the beat is kind of low key, and it sort of stays the same throughout the whole track. And it's a very narrative heavy track where essentially Tyler, the Creator, imagines being in a relationship with someone who in real life is already in a relationship with someone else. And yeah, 8.5 minutes long of daydreaming, it does seem very stupid, but as someone who is pretty much in a similar situation, I can kind of relate to the lyrics on this track on some levels, because it does get kind of fucked towards the end.
I want to be with you.
Yeah, I do feel, you know, humanly sentimental towards this. I do get this sentiment quite a bit. And then at the end we have Safari, which is a beautiful ending to the album. We have lo-fi bass, very grand horns, hand drums, and pitched vocals, and it sounds like the musical equivalent of watching the sunset in a busy, bustling city, and it's just a very feel-good vibe to the album. It just ends off on such a beautiful, refreshing vibe. That's kind of like a sweet farewell. That's so theatrical in a way. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Really good album, really freaking good album. Tyler, the Creator, another great album, just back to back to back. What can I say? My favorite track here is Lumberjack, and my least favorite is Runitup. I'm giving Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost strong 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to the latest Tyler, the Creator album from 1 to 10? Would you rate it, like, and subscribe if you want more? Thanks for watching. I'm going to be reviewing M. Dow Mokhtar, Hobo Johnson, and Lana Del Rey in the beginning of July. So, stay tuned for that.